FAVMI presents Unfolding Mental Illness, hosted by Saraswati Suresh.
Welcome to our ongoing podcast series, Unfolding Mental Illness, brought to you by FAVMI, the Family's Voice on Mental Illness, an organization committed to supporting families, family carers, and individuals navigating with mental health illnesses and challenges, while working continuously to reduce stigma and build understanding in society. We're also the Western Zone of Families Alliance on Mental Illness, FAVMI India, founded by Dr. Nirmala Srinivasan. In these conversations, we bring forward real lived experiences, stories that go beyond diagnosis and labels and help us understand the human side of mental health. And also, from experts, we try to bring about conversations with them on mental illness. Hi, I'm Saraswati Suresh, the host, and I have Dr. Sachin Ganorkar, my co-host. Today's episode, Hope and Love Together, Schizophrenia and a Neuro-divergent Partnership, is one such story. In most discussions around mental illness, we hear about caregiving, crisis, and coping, etc. Rarely do we hear about love, about partnerships, about choosing each other, and about living a life together. And even more rarely do we hear about relationships where both partners are navigating neurodivergence or mental illness. There is a common belief in society, often unspoken but deeply ingrained, that for a relationship to work, one person must be the stable one or the strong one. But what happens when both are seen as vulnerable and they choose each other? It challenges this belief, sometimes inviting even doubt, concern, or even discouragement. And today's conversation is powerfully challenges that narrative. We are joined together by a couple who chose each other despite being told that their relationship would not work. One partner lives with schizophrenia with cognitive symptoms, and the other with learning disabilities. Together, they have built a relationship rooted in understanding, resilience, and mutual support. Their story is just not about overcoming challenges, but redefining what support looks like, companionship looks like, and what is truly possible when two people walk together with awareness, acceptance, and care. This is a story of hope, a reminder that love does not require perfection, but presence. And that the right to relationships, dignity, and choice belongs to everyone. And I salute this couple, Teertha and Kunal Roy, being ready to share their journey, their hope, their challenges, and even their vulnerabilities. Welcome, Teertha and Kunal, and I really look forward to having this conversation with you guys.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction.
Yeah. So, Teertha and Uni, to start with, I would like to start with you sharing your story, the both of you. Where did you all first meet? And how did you all understand that, there were certain differences in the way, your life is taking forward? And how did you all come together?
Okay, so we met on an app called Discord.
We were on the same group and we had both given up on marriage until Kunal noticed my Discord name that matched the name of his greatest love, a fur baby named Teer.
Yeah. I thought, what are the odds that I just lost Teer? And here is another one on Discord. It felt like the universe was telling me to at least test the waters.
Then the Discord meetings turned into in-person meetings. The in-person meetings turned into family meetings. And then the family meetings into a lifelong subscription.
Regarding when I realized that I was different, I really wasn't until school. It was only after school that my illness really came to the surface. I hid it for many years, and around the time my schizophrenia hit, I also suffered from epileptic fits. And I told people that my constant fear and panic was due to my fits, partly because I didn't understand my own illness, and partly because when I did engage with hallucinations, I muttered under my breath in the privacy of my room. And when people came in, I stopped. So even when I did it openly, it was undetectable to an untrained observer. It was like a prayer, like I was saying a prayer to myself. Uh, the whole thing was bizarre to me, and I didn't have a handle on it. So I didn't really even know where to begin with talking about it or telling someone about it. So I swept it under the rug. Only many years later, when the problem was caught and named by a medical professional, did I realize that it had always been there and that it had quite badly marred my past. And then over time, it sunk in that this is not a temporary situation. This disorder will continue to impact my life till the end of my days. Now, the most incontrovertible proof for me came that about 2 months into my treatment, uh, I studied in a convent school and I spent years seeing Jesus. Like I saw him in person. I spent years seeing him. Basically, I had a recurring VIP guest.
As an image.
Yeah. And I even declared myself a Christian. Then the schizophrenia medication started working and Jesus ghosted me.
I
Thank
realized
God it was only Lord Jesus. Yeah, continue, Teertha.
I realized I was different from my earliest days. My family called the manifestations of my condition Teerthaisms. Then in school, I was formally diagnosed. At this point, it is beyond doubt that that I have learning disabilities. The diagnosis clearly mentioned dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia.
Difficult to pronounce too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
absolutely. I mean, when these words, suddenly come into our lives, we don't even know the spelling of these words to many of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
true.
yeah,
Tare Zameen par popularized dyslexia.
correct.
It's still difficult to pronounce, I'll concede, but more people know about dyslexia, but not many people know about the other learning disabilities, even today.
True,
Yeah.
true. I agree with you completely. Yeah. Uh, Thank you for introducing your story and the way you guys met. That was really as if like God has sent you all, and the universe has ensured that you all should meet and should be together. Somewhere I feel that's the story behind this. So when you all actually met, I'm sure there would have been reactions and comments saying that this is not going to work. So how did you all actually react or respond to these comments? And in spite of all those challenges, you all decided, okay, let us take this forward.
So, when we tell people about our condition, we are very open about it now. It took time to get there. We used to hide it because of stigma, but we are very open about it now. And when we tell people that I have schizophrenia with cognitive symptoms and she has dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia, that is the first question on everybody's mind. They don't even ask how it works. They just ask how it even happened.
We both come from middle class families. The marriage was never simple. My parents didn't really care about heirs. They cared about what would happen to me when they were gone. So as they got older, that question got louder.
Yeah. It was the same for me. My family did want children. Even I want children someday. But more than that, they wanted to know that I wouldn't be alone when they're gone because the world runs from schizophrenia like it's the plague.
I'd had enough failed attempts to last a lifetime. I decided to stay single. Amma saw what was going on and she agreed. I gave up on marriage and she gave up on hoping for it.
I also come from I came from a string of failed relationships, and once I knew about my illness, in therapy, I was told never to hide it. So going into every relationship, a part of my therapy guidelines was to disclose it upfront. So I never hid it from anybody. And only after I found out about my illness did I really start dating. So I didn't have any dates before that. In all my dates, I never hid my illness. I told them about it right at the beginning. And some did give me a chance, despite knowing, but not one of them lasted the course.
I told Amma about Kunal, and she had watched me break down over the last one. So she was already skeptical. And then I told her he has schizophrenia. That was like,
A bond.
yeah, one on top of the other.
Yeah. So, Teertha, when she writes very dispassionately. She gives information like a news anchor. She gives it in real time and she doesn't attach any emotion to it. So she told me, I told Amma, she knows now. And
No filters. I like that actually. Yeah.
The raw honesty.
then I waited. So all I could do was wait. She didn't give any other context apart from that. She said, I told her she knows now. So then I waited for her response.
Amma's reaction to this was she pulled out every article there is, and Baba was like, uh, when he read articles, he said he mentioned all these terms: aggression, impulsivity, self-neglect, substance misuse, risk-taking behaviors, non-compliance with treatment. They immediately realized that you don't look for assurance on the internet.
And in her usual fashion, Tirtha conveyed these concerns to me very dispassionately. And I didn't sugarcoat anything. That was against the guidelines of my treatment. So I didn't sugarcoat anything. I told her that during an episode I can be aggressive and I can be impulsive, and I worked hard to take care of myself as far as self-neglect is concerned. And I've overcome addiction. I did used to have addiction. I've overcome it, and I don't plan on backsliding anytime soon. And I can engage in risk-taking behaviors when things get really bad, but I always comply with treatment. I never, I'm not a uncooperative patient. I follow all treatment guidelines and all treatment recommendations.
I told Amma exactly that, and I wanted to see how she would react to it, whether better or worse.
Yeah, and Amma and Baba's next question was, what exactly is my diagnosis?
Amma wanted to know if he's a Ted Bundy or just a one-man talk show host.
Okay. So what did you tell her then?
I said the latter. I
The
said I'm
latter,
not
okay.
Ted Bundy. Sometimes I am a one-man talk show host.
So it's not only she's the anchor, even you can be the, the anchor at times.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I can completely relate to what Amma must be thinking because as a mother,
Yeah.
I would be going through that same questions. And, as a mother to a family carer, to my son, what after us always becomes a question
Yeah.
of,
Yeah. That is the popular portrayal of schizophrenia in the media.
yeah.
The statistics, according to the statistics, about 10% of us are aggressive. And actually, all of us can get aggressive, but it's not overt aggression. It's more like passive aggression and saying nasty things, saying things that are unadvisable.
Yeah.
and things like that, shouting maybe. But only about most of us actually are on the receiving end of physical aggression. We get bullied. Physically, we get bullied because we don't always have a handle on our symptoms and we can say inappropriate things, the wrong thing at the wrong time. And then society doesn't understand, so we do end up getting assaulted fairly often. But the popular portrayal of schizophrenia is the sensational kind, the one that sells. So,
People
where,
still don't know that there are different types of
Schizophrenia.
schizophrenia or different phases in the same
Yeah.
type.
yeah, so they always have superhuman strength. During during episodes, there have been times when I've had superhuman strength.
Superhuman.
It's because of adrenaline, and it took five people to calm me down. But when I have superhuman strength, it's not because I'm trying to attack someone, it's because I'm trying to flee. I'm seeing something that is so terrifying that I'm using all my strength to run and to get out of there.
Hmm.
So if somebody is trying to restrain me, then they might get hurt a little bit, but I'm not going to attack anyone when I'm in that state. So we do get aggressive, but it's not like Ted Bundy at all.
Yeah. So beautifully, you have put out the disease so nicely. And with that smile on your face, I really love it. Uh, so now that, schizophrenia with cognitive symptoms and learning disabilities are shaping your day-to-day lives, and you all know each other in terms of, how the disease works. And so what are some of the experiences that are different from each other for both of you? And what are the surprising ways also, I think, maybe that they actually complement each other?
So the other day, actually this happens quite often.
Huh.
Uh, the other day I found myself
Okay.
just staring at a guy's butt.
Okay.
He turned around and he caught me,
Huh.
and I'm sure he's scandalized by it. But what was actually happening is that I was seeing a gun tucked into his waistband, which I often do when some people tuck in their shirts into their pants and they're sitting across from me and I'm sitting behind them.
Especially if
Yeah.
they have a big build and they're all
Yeah.
buffed up, you know.
I see gun tucked into their waistband. And sometimes, even when their shirt is not tucked in, I see the waistband under their shirt, even though it's not really visible. And I see the gun and I see the knife. And I've been trained in
Therapy.
therapy not to react, but I can't help but stare a little bit, like a little bit.
Just
And
just to make sure that it's not there.
yeah, so my brain is like a weapons catalog with a very bad sense of timing.
Okay.
And
So one strategy that is given to him is you take a photo of that person from far away and
Huh.
then see whether it's actually there.
Okay.
but even that can get uncomfortable, taking a photo of
Yeah.
somebody
That
behind.
And the
gets
person may not like it also doing that, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
You can just decrease the volume fully of your phone so that the camera doesn't make a sound and
Mm.
take
yeah,
it from far away as if you're
yeah,
doing something else on your phone.
yeah.
Mm.
Check.
So this is my paranoia and the cognitive symptoms. When I read an article or try to manage all the details in my daily routine, there is a heavy metal concert in my head. So actually, there are many ways in which my condition affects my life. And if I told you everything, it would make a book. So, uh,
You asked how our conditions complement each other.
That's right. That's right.
So before I answer, I need to show you the other side, the way they collide.
Okay.
okay.
How do they collide then?
So Kunal and I were in the kitchen and I pulled out my notebook to write down the grocery list.
Mm.
Don't write that down, he said. Why? I asked pen, hovering over the page. Because
Mm.
if it's written, it's proof.
Correct.
Proof, proof of what? He said. Of what they're saying about me. And then
Huh.
I blinked. I was just trying to remember milk and eggs.
Correct.
I'm just writing the grocery list, I said.
Huh.
Then he said, "You wrote my name." Then I replied saying I was spelling it. And then he snapped, "Don't spell it." And then I'm practicing, I said, unsure if I was allowed to breathe. And then he said, "They'll see it." Like the alphabet itself was a surveillance tool, like a camera or something. And
Okay.
then I asked, "Who reads the grocery lists?"
Huh.
Then, and then he said, "The same people who keep repeating things." And then I protested, "Repeating helps me remember." And because that's the truth, repeating does help
That's
me
true.
remember.
Correct.
And then he said, "Repeating is how they get in." And then I tried. So I forget the groceries,
Because the conversation has gone on a different
different turn, it took a
direction,
different turn.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he said, "No, but if you repeat, they hear it."
Mhm.
And I added to it, "And I can't write them." And then he said, "Definitely not."
So, and then you forget it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, no, then she was like, "What are we eating?" And then I said, "I don't know." And
Ah.
then she said, "Okay, now I'm hearing voices." And I was like, "What are the voices saying?" She said,
Milk,
saying milk.
milk.
They're saying milk.
I really like the way you all have brought humor into your life. You know, I realize that so much to learn from you guys. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
she gave you the cute version of the story. But what actually happened was more like Annabelle comes home.
Okay. That is scary. Absolutely scary.
So now I'll tell you how our conditions complement each other.
Yeah, I'm very keen to hear that.
So we were planning the month's expenses,
Hmm.
and I already told you I get cognitive symptoms when I manage the daily routine.
Ha.
So the voices in my head were getting louder and louder the more details I was getting into. And my wife, she also gets louder when I make her handle the details. But but she's very excited. She's very excited. She says, "I accept this challenge."
Challenge accepted.
And then she said, "I have studied Excel in school." And then I was like, "Yes, in eighth grade, you were typing numbers into rows and coloring cells bright yellow and clicking around columns and minimizing the window and playing solitaire. Solid learning." And then
That is what we did in school, learning Excel. Correct.
And
So
then
true.
the first item on our budget, the most important to both of us, was entertainment. And the rest just flock around it, like we do the bare minimum. And then, so I said that I need enough money for entertainment that I don't have to track every purchase. Like every time I pay for something, if I track it, if I look in my bank account, how much money is going out, how much money is gone out, then it will trigger my episode,
Voices.
trigger an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Teertha is like, "I will track everything, don't worry." And then I was instantly refreshed by her confidence. Then she looked at the Excel sheet and she was like, "Is 100 rupees enough for restaurants?" And then I looked at her and I was like, "Per dish? Yeah, yeah." Then she paused, thinking very hard. I could hear the Excel loading in her head. She said, "No, no, per month. No, no, actually per year. No, sorry, no, yeah, per month." And then I
Just get,
said,
you wouldn't even get popcorn with it.
Yeah.
and then I said, "That is a very good budget. Okay, we are done with restaurants. What is next?" And then I made a mental note to myself that at 2 a.m., open your eyes very slowly, don't make any noise, remove the bright yellow from the cell, and put a number in there, a real number. And also, please see when dyscalculia meets Excel, nobody wins. Then, then, then I went to sleep, and the next morning, she gave me the whole budget.
Oh,
There was
wow.
something for restaurants, for movies, even a few events, and even amateur astronomy, which I like, minus the telescope, just for the
Okay.
snacks and popcorn mainly, but still. Uh, and it was beautifully done. And I realized I had severely underestimated her. Because in my clinical practice, I have worked with people with dyscalculia, and I know they have no number sense.
Hmm.
And it is true, she doesn't have number sense, but she still got it done. So I asked, how did you do it? She said very plainly in her usual dispassionate way, she said, Google and ChatGPT. What was the prompt? And she said, a reasonable but generous budget for things we like to do within 20,000 rupees. I put it all on the Excel sheet. See, I have it. You can see it. And then I saw the return of the bright yellow cells and the numbers.
There
And
were no
then
red cells, hopefully.
and then it struck me that even as neurodivergents, we often underestimate and dismiss other neurodivergents.
True. Yeah, we underestimate our own capabilities and ability for people with disabilities to function appropriately. Uh, it's I think the society, I mean humor aside, but we tend to do that. But I think they're much, much, much more capable than even normal people can do, and that I
Yeah.
truly, truly believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Moving on to our next question, that now that you all have told how you all complement each other and you all are taking your life forward, though there are even also experiences are different. uh we always assume in a marriage, like I said in my introduction also, there's one person who's more the stable and the supporter. So how do your, in your case, you all mutually support each other? I mean, you have been giving us a few examples, but, a little more, if you can share with us, what are your practical systems or routines that you all have created in a day-to-day lives to support each other?
I give him alone time to prevent episodes from even coming on, or at least coming on with full force.
Okay.
Yeah. And I very much appreciate that. And I give her playtime to prevent her from losing the parts of herself that make her authentically her.
Hmm.
And this is practical because when you're not yourself, when you're never in touch with yourself, you sort of start to lose yourself. You start to lose track of your needs and your priorities and the person that you are.
Correct.
And then you become more vulnerable. People with developmental disabilities, like learning disabilities, are vulnerable because they're very impressionable. And part of the problem is that people are always trying to suppress their natural instincts and their natural behavior. Some of it is necessary discipline, I'll admit, but much of it is just people not being used to the way they express themselves.
Hmm.
So I give her playtime where she expresses herself like she wants to. And in this way, it's not as easy to bully or manipulate or to exploit her.
Hmm. Hmm. So what are the kind of
I-
playtimes? I mean, what do you all do in playtime? What does she do? I mean, I'm
I
just curious to know.
So she does things like she will hold my hand and kick it like this and do kichi pichi kichu puchi pichi kichi. She does
Okay.
this.
Okay.
And I'll do the "Chimichurri,"
Yeah,
or something
Okay.
like kiddish play.
yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah.
nice. Nice. I'm sure.
This is something that he has never encountered before, like in his earlier relationships or anything. This was very new to him when we first started out. He was
Yeah.
like, "What is this?"
I have seen it in my clinical practice,
Yeah.
and I have seen mothers and well-intentioned mothers, not malicious mothers, but they don't understand. So they try to suppress it. They try to say, "You're a grown woman now," but that's not fair to them. Their brain is wired differently. So
Yeah, they should be able to express.
yeah, so that is one practical way in which I support her.
Oh,
And
lovely.
then when we go to bed every night, I do a nighttime ritual with him involving some affirmations. So feels good about himself and about
Yeah,
some workaround ways for his condition. Not exactly a workaround way, but some.
Yeah. But they
yeah,
do help. I know that a lot of people do affirmations and gratitude journaling in the
Yeah,
night
yeah,
before going to sleep, and it helps a lot of people.
yeah.
So I
yeah,
think not only with you, it happens with all of us can do it, and it
yeah,
helps most of us in this. Yeah, so that's a beautiful way of supporting each other. What
yeah.
else do you guys do?
So I tell her that we have to leave about an hour earlier than we actually do, so
Mhm.
that we end up being on time.
And I
Okay.
and I make sure the alarm doesn't scare him.
Okay.
Yeah. And I make sure that every meal is small enough that she can finish it on time. Elaborate meals take time and she doesn't always realize time is passing. So instead of forcing her to keep track of time, which is hard for her, I just make the meal very small. But I make sure that it's also very nutritious.
And I manage the daily routine, and I run into his room when he has sleep paralysis.
Yeah, she does that. And I keep the door open at night for unimpeded access.
Elite level practical support.
I know, I know.
So beautiful that y'all have understood each other and all are trying to, complement and support each other with small things and, ensuring your life goes on very smoothly. I'm very, very impressed the way you all had taken forward your life.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Thank you.
so, the other question which I had is that, um, on a difficult day, how does it look that you all are there for each other? And how do you all communicate then, whether it when one is struggling emotionally or, the other is struggling cognitively? You're having your episode or whatever, or she is having a vulnerable day, then how do you all manage to be there for each other? Now that you all are even created that routine for each other on a difficult day, how do you all manage that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one time I was very exhausted. Um, I'm constantly exhausted, but this time I was very exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted to play. She didn't want to play like watch a movie or listen to music. She wanted to play, like she wanted to bop my nose. She wanted to baby talk me. She wanted to arrest
I rest my limbs.
my limbs. And then that is how she plays. And so I was in no mood for it. I it felt overstimulating and it was sort of like an assault on my senses when she was doing that. But then I kept reminding myself that I am possibly the only person in her life who understands her kind of fun.
Hmm.
So, no clever jokes, no sharp wit, no punchlines, just playing.
Hmm.
And so I let her do it because otherwise she will feel like there is no place for her in this world.
Hmm.
So that was one time that I can recall where even though I was in no mood for play, I
Hmm.
still played with her because the stake because I didn't want her to feel like she has no place in the world.
Okay.
It's funny that he thinks that he's controlling it for me, but I feel like I control myself for him.
Okay. That's interesting. That's really nice. And
Elaborate.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'll
there are many moments where I want to play to fill the day to chase every little spark of excitement just because it showed up.
hmm,
But my instinct is to go all in, to turn an ordinary day into something loud and alive.
okay.
I remember how easily the world can get too much for him, how noise stacks on noise, how plans pile up,
Hmm,
how even good things can become overwhelming. I quiet the impulse mid-flight. Doesn't always. I choose a slower version of the day than the one I actually want.
okay. So I
Okay.
mean, it's so beautiful that you all realize each other's moods and needs, actually, I would say, during the day, and then try to complement and support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now, pardon me. Yeah, sorry, you wanted to say something else?
there's no magic answer really on how we support each other. We just support each other as much as we can.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes too much, we retreat.
Okay.
And then we come back and do it again. That's basically it.
He's right, but I've also noticed that he treats sleep like a software reset. Same time every night, no negotiations. And it sounds trivial until you realize it works.
Yeah.
Sleep resets the brain.
Yeah. She thinks I sleep 12 hours a day, but I only sleep 10.
So we've moved from hibernation to dedicated recovery
That is how I maintain my functionality. That is my strategy.
by unconsciousness.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
no.
I think that is something I will also take now. That's a takeaway for me.
You know, the nice thing about Teertha is that when she's stressed, her brain seems to reset on her own, on its own.
On its own.
Like I've seen this with other people with learning disability. They have information processing limits. It's a part of their condition. And emotions, we think of them as philosophical. Uh, we think of them as something philosophical, but
Correct.
actually, as far as neurology is concerned, they're just information.
Hmm.
So when emotions get very intense, it's too much information for her brain.
Correct.
So her brain just clocks out. No drama, no speech. Just like we have reached full capacity. Please try again later.
In the end, we are two widely different operating systems, but we refuse to uninstall each other.
That's true. It's like, hardware space is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have another hardware now to to get more information into that. Something like that. So true. I'll now hand it over to Sachin uh, to take this forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sachin, all yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Saraswati. Thank you, both of you. I think it was quite the nice to see your wonderful journey. Uh, and maybe I think for us, I think after listening to you and what Saraswati was saying that I think your companionship is not defined by the disease. It is. I think it is getting revealed by how you respond to it. So maybe your connection, I think, has gone beyond your illness. So the illness has not become your identity, actually.
Yeah.
I think that is what I understood from your thing. And even if I think, even if you are ill or if you're not, I think companionship is more. I think emotional presence, which both of you are actually showing. I think maybe I think the shared respect and a meaning which you have, and I think uh, you also are trying to stay together despite the difficulty you might be facing. So illness might be changing your circumstances, but it doesn't define your essence of your relationship.
Yeah.
So I think you might be having that condition, which and it might be testing your patience and resilience. And as Saraswati, and you mentioned what makes you collide and what makes you support. Uh, it might be bringing some emotional strain, but I think it is not destroying your relationship. It is actually making it much more deeper. So that is what I understood from what we discussed right now. And I think when I read those questions, what Saraswati said, I think your relationship goes much beyond your illness. And as you rightly mentioned right now, that whenever you want to reset yourself, you are maintaining your individuality. So it is not saying that you are stuck to each other, but you also actually retreat and get your space back. So you maintain the dignity of your relationship is what I understood. And sometimes when we see the matrimonial ads and the way relationships are defined in a society, we always connect with the externals, saying that you should have a certain income and you should have a certain physicality to it, and there should be no difficulties. So your partner should be actually perfect. But I think what you also are trying to tell us that I think you still choose to connect despite the kind of difficulties you have faced, and I think these are external difficulties and identities. So I think that's what I understood from the conversation. So I
Thank you
should
so much.
yes. So I just wanted to take it forward because you have asked a lot of questions. Maybe just we just want to understand what is your professional and learning journey, because I think you are training as a psychologist and a special educator. So what do you want to expect from what you are learning right now? Both of you are trying to enroll into the Rehabilitation Council of India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you look at your professional and personal journey from this point?
So the reason I chose psychology, I started out in B.Tech like all good Indians. And then uh, I, I had illness. It was quite bad. I was in denial, but it was not in denial. So it affected my life. And then when I went to the US to do my master's in MTech, things got really bad. And then I had to quit. And when I had to take treatment. So during that treatment, I got some time to reflect on what it is I actually want to pursue. And at that point, I decided that I want to understand more about myself. Because even though mental illness has impacted my life, I felt like there is some potential within me, that I'm not completely devoid of potential. There are things I can do, but I just need some help. So I want it sounded like bragging, but I said that I do have talent. And I was trying to explain it to my doctors and to my family, but because my illness was so loud, it wasn't getting through to them. And even though I did my best to communicate it to them, there are just some things that you cannot really articulate. So you're just left with one option. You have to explore yourself until you have the answers, because nobody else is understanding the issue and nobody else can give you the answers without understanding the question. So then you sort of explore yourself so that you can find the answers. And so that is why I chose psychology. I was the only one in a position to identify and uncover my potential.
I just really wanted a master's.
Yeah.
My mother has collected BA, MA, MPhil, PhD, B.Ed, M.Ed. At this point, degrees are less qualifications and more a lifestyle choice. She is intimidatingly accomplished, and I think she is amazing.
Yeah, she is. She is.
So I also wanted a master's. It may not sound like the most profound reason, but it is an honest one.
Yeah. And regarding special education, I did my BA psychology and my MA psychology, and I started taking cases. And what I found was that about 50% of my clients were individuals with special needs, people with autism spectrum disorder, people with bipolar schizophrenia, people with um, intellectual disability and learning disability and cerebral
Autism.
palsy. Yeah. So I wasn't equipped to handle these cases, because in psychology you learn a lot about how to manage behavior, but you don't really learn about much about special needs. So a lot of people, they choose to learn on the job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I didn't want to take a chance with them, and I didn't think that I could learn on the job. So I decided to do a government certified course so that I can provide the best possible service.
And I've also been drawn to helping people from a young age.
Yeah, she's also
So,
drawn to helping dogs and birds and insects.
yeah, that makes me happy. So when we found this integrated B.Ed, M.Ed in special education, applying felt natural. Like we could train and grow in the same field. Now we are about to enter the final year and become members of the Rehabilitation Council of India. which means it is a government license, which is
Yeah.
both exciting and meaningful for both of us.
Yeah.
It allows us to cover more ground and reach more people.
Yeah. When we graduate, we plan to work together and offer well-rounded support to people with all kinds of special needs and neurodivergence. And
With the training and our lived experience.
yeah, with our training and our lived experience, we have both personal and professional experience. So
Yeah.
I think that combination will help us make a real difference in many lives.
And we are choosing different specializations on purpose. He is specializing in intellectual disability. I am specializing in learning disability.
Yeah.
So we'll probably take cases
Yeah.
accordingly.
No, amazing. I think your disease and your companionship has made you more human. I think the way you're showing up for your academic credentials, it might sharpen your intellect. But I think your understanding and lived experience of the disease has also given you that emotional and human aspect. And just trying to be human to also understand what other people are actually going through. So I think I think you're seeing your illness, but I think you have gone much beyond it in terms of what you're doing to each other and also the kind of qualifications you're trying to build up. Uh, that's really amazing. Uh, just to go ahead, uh, we- there are challenging myths in the society that uh, we see people who have physical limitations or people they do get married and the society doesn't bat an eyelid. But people who have psychosocial disabilities, who are neurodivergent, uh, and we have discussed what your journey today very candidly, and we are very grateful that you have shared what you feel, what you have faced, and it takes a lot of courage. So, what are the kind of challenging myths you have seen, and how do you want to address it, both with your journey and the kind of academic qualifications you have right now?
So I want everything to change about in this field. There's this thing called ableism, the idea that everyone is able and those who don't perform are simply not trying.
Mm.
And in my experience, India is filled with ableist thinking. The truth is people lack opportunities and not work ethic.
Yeah.
And this is all the more true for people with disabilities. Give us opportunities, give us the support we need to thrive. Don't regulate us to the minority.
Yeah.
We qualify to make inspiration.
Yeah, like it seems like in this economy, people with disability, all they really do is they provide content for inspirational and Instagram videos. So, uh, that has its place. I'm not looking down on it. It's important to create awareness.
The mindset, in simple words, that they have is these people have disability and they cannot do anything.
Yeah. And even when people actually encounter people with disabilities, even when they know they have disabilities, they think they're just not trying hard enough. And this extends to neurotypicals as well. It's just a cultural thing, maybe, or maybe a global phenomenon. Maybe everybody thinks this way. We call it ableism. That is the technical term for it. It's something we learned in our course that people think that everybody is able,
I
and
think
if,
people learned it in psychology.
yeah, and if they're not, if there are no outcomes, then it's not because they lack, they have limitations, but it's because they're not trying.
No, absolutely. I think what we are not looking out for charity. I think we are looking for inclusion with meaning. So if there are neurodivergent individuals or people who have disabilities, everybody wants to work and maybe give meaning to their life.
Yeah,
But at the same time, we don't want charity. So they can be as productive. There might be differences in the kind of environments they need to work
Yeah,
or kind of support they require. But I think they want an inclusion which gives their life a meaning.
yeah,
So I really understand what you're trying to mention and say.
yeah,
And also and maybe uh, because the kind of society we have, so where everybody gets measured in a certain metric, it's sometimes very difficult for people to look with the term you used, ableism, that there could be individuals who could contribute in their own ways.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good sharing. Is there any other myth you would like to bust for people who live with conditions like you and who might actually look up to you for advice?
So, as far as myths are concerned, society believes that we should hide because of judgment. And I have seen stigma. I have seen people being hurt by stigma. People with disabilities, I've seen their vulnerabilities being used against them, being used to hurt them. So I have seen that, and it's true, we do feel bad about it. But the solution is not to hide. We can get to a place where we accept it fully and where we are so secure about it that even if people do say mean things, it simply rolls off. So, in fear of judgment, you don't have to hide us away from society. You just need to send us to therapy. And in therapy, we'll acquire the skills to deal with social judgment.
We own our support needs and admit our limitations. Society believes that this brings shame, but for us, it just brings a more informed approach to
Yeah,
our daily lives.
yeah. And then society thinks that we would be utterly dysfunctional, like because we will be at each other's throats all the time. And we are, but only about half the time. And that is not very different from most couples.
And they think that you need to have all the answers before you get married. But even the best laid out plan goes,
Yeah,
yeah. So you have to let people find their own way through life.
yeah,
That society doesn't understand.
yeah. And there is an elephant in the room, the finances.
Yeah, that no one talks about.
People think you have to be Bill Gates in order to support someone with disability. You don't need to be Bill Gates. We have learned
Don't
to,
need to be Bill Gates.
yeah, we have learned to manage within our own means through therapy, through a lot of guidance, through a lot of, um, we found a job and we got fired from many jobs, but ultimately we found a job and we can find ways to make a living. And we just need a little bit of support. We can find ways, and we may not have permanent jobs, or we may get fired from time to time, but we'll get back on our feet again.
Hmm.
And if you are thinking of financially supporting us, then it's not that mammoth number that you're thinking in your head. You don't need that much. Like on a middle class income, I can cover medical expenses. I can cover occasional upkeep,
Therapy, medicines, and
yoga,
yoga.
and then occasional outings, some shopping we can do. For travel, we still have to beg, but
Still,
but a little begging, it keeps us humble.
No, wonderful. I think there is a need for strength-based job mapping because you have strengths, and if the workplaces can be inclusive and they can give some kind of predictability and trust to what you do, I think that can be make a huge difference to your life. So there could be a routine and structure which could be given based on what challenges you face. And unfortunately, our society works that you have to fit the person into anything. So maybe it's a social structure or your job, or you want to get into some organization, or you want to do, or you want to even travel in a train. But I think you need to fit the job to the person. So you need to fit your maybe your relationship, or unfortunately the society works that ways, and people like you actually give a mirror to the society with the word you used, ableism, that I think there are also different individuals who need to be looked differently. They have a different kind of creative and divergent thinking. So I think maybe those changes will come slowly, but I think but it's I feel really happy to listen to you. Maybe where we work in HR, I think you could have flexible hours, or you could have spaces where, in case your senses get overwhelmed, then maybe you could sit for some time and you could recover. Uh,
yeah,
our jobs don't have clear instructions. Instructions are vague, so maybe I think you need bosses who are more clear in the instructions. And maybe the kind of evaluation structure we have in our HR appraisals, I think that needs to be more sensitive.
Yeah,
So I don't know how it will change because that's how things function right now. But maybe I think certainly in future there might be a possibility that these things might come into existence when we have people like you who actually become a part of the system.
There is a section in the job market for disability. There's a percentage,
there
but
is a
that's just on paper. As
Correct.
soon as you mention that you have disability, they don't even accept your
Yeah, they sort of start
Correct.
pressuring you to
yeah,
resign because
Correct.
technically it's illegal for them to fire you. So
yeah.
Correct.
they
If
sort
they fire you, then you have to they have to give a certain amount to us. So
and also it's illegal.
okay.
So
Yeah. No, that's not illegal, is
it
it?
is,
Oh, it is. Okay.
but
No, no, no,
so
you're
they
correct. But
sort of
correct.
make your life difficult until you decide to resign yourself.
Correct. No, no, that too. I think the word you use is the finance person, where everything gets very structured into neat Excel boxes, and that defines the outcome not only for you but for any individual. So I think to get beyond those Excel sheet calculations and VLOOKUPs and looking at people only as numbers, I think that that itself is a big challenge. What our society and system faces. So I totally understand what you must be going through and what you must have felt. Uh, Plus with the kind of companionship you have and the kind of education qualifications you are trying to build in. Now do I think just get into some fun questions which Saraswati has put. I hope you're ready for those questions. This could be, yeah. So one word that describes your partner.
Labrador.
Uh, Golden retriever.
Okay. Who says sorry after a disagreement?
That is actually mutual.
Yeah. But
Okay.
first, I guess sometimes like you're just passing by and you're calm now and you've had some time to think about it. And then I see her in there and I go in and say sorry. Sometimes she's passing by, she's calm and she's had some time to think about. She sees me in there and she says sorry. So it's circumstantial.
We give some space to each other. We go into our rooms and then we think about it and then we come out and we
Yeah.
start talking to each other again.
Yeah, so it's really a question of who emerges from the retreat first.
Oh, nice. Nice. Very nice. I think it's always good to step back and regain your strength and individuality before you reconnect again. So that's really wonderful. A small habit of your partner that secretly makes you smile.
Like the way that she looks at me when she's showing her affection to me, the look on her in her eyes, it's like,
It's like a Labrador.
yeah.
It's like
Like I don't know if you have dogs, but if
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
ever seen YouTube videos of them, they look at you with so much love. Like eh, it's like almost an impossible amount of love. That is the way she looks at me, and it makes me smile.
I kind of like everything about him.
Oh, nice. Very nice. If your relationship had a tagline, what would it be?
Tagline.
A match made in reality.
Yeah. A match made in reality.
Nice. One thing your partner understands about you without you saying a word.
I think she understands everything about me without me saying a word, except maybe why I sleep so much.
No, no, I understand that, but I sometimes don't like it that he sleeps so much.
Uh,
Oh, no, wonderful. Complete the sentence. Complete the sentence on difficult days. We so on difficult days we and then it's a you need to
Okay.
complete the sentence.
On difficult days,
on difficult days, we make sure it doesn't escalate. Like I make sure that I don't say anything
we just
nasty.
try to remain calm
Yeah,
most of the time.
I wouldn't say we are calm,
No,
but
we
yeah,
don't go out and we don't try to overstimulate our brain with anything else.
yeah,
We just clear the day and
yeah.
we are just at home sitting in our rooms or
We are
outside.
angry, but we watch our words very carefully.
Hmm.
Like it's like don't say anything if you're angry. Just you can bang the table if you want. and then walk
Go back to
stomp
your
away.
retreat. Go back to
Yeah,
your
go
retreat.
back to your retreat.
Yeah.
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 No, amazing. I think uh, I and Saraswati just wanted to thank you. We come to the end of the conversation, but uh, I'm not even looking at you as neurodivergent individuals. I've showed us that companionship needs understanding, and you have maintained your core very well. And you're not trying to, I think, act normal under pressure, which actually your societal relationships actually want you to be that. You should actually behave like X, Y, Z. So I think beyond the identity, I think the core of your relationship remains intact.
Yeah.
So the illness might be your identity or the circumstances you might be facing right now. But it's amazing that you have given us the permission to actually look into your life, share what you have gone from the beginning, and I think there even the kind of able or normal individuals might not be so candid in sharing what you have shared in a sense. So even if you are like different, there you might have different communication styles, you might have different sensory perceptions, but you are trying to make the trust work and make the relationship a much more safer place for both of you. So we really appreciate that, and we wish you good best of luck for the kind of work, education qualifications you're taking up, the kind of work opportunities you're looking up for. And then definitely, I think people like you will bring the light in the darkness, what you face in terms of misunderstandings and maybe the definition of financial productivity which exists in our systems right now.
Yeah.
So I'll give it to Saraswati, but we just wanted to thank you for your valuable time and to uh, share what this relationship means to you and what you're doing right now.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for this platform and for
Yeah.
this opportunity.
Any last few words you would like to say, ending this session?
Do you want to say something in Bangla?
I don't think.
You can.
Just think of a sentence, anything.
Yeah. Something you'd like to end the session with or
Yeah.
end this conversation with?
I know
Or a
that.
message you would like to give to
Yeah,
to
that's
the
what I'm.
yeah,
The
a message.
message that I'd like to give people out there, neurodivergents, before getting into a relationship, please go to therapy. Like, I know you have problems, and I know that it can be very consuming. The problems are very like almost don't have the bandwidth to consider anybody else's feelings or to consider anybody else's problems. And it can be very overwhelming and it can be consuming in the moment. But you can find the space for someone else. You can create the space to think about what the other person might be going through or what they might be experiencing. So
Through
go to therapy,
therapy.
work on empathy, and work extensively on empathy before you get into a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And we are grateful for you being ready to share your story with us. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.